In a world that never stops moving, where every moment is filled with noise, demands, and relentless pressure, finding true peace might seem like a distant dream. But what if I told you that tranquility isn't found in escaping your life, but in changing how you live it? This isn't about retreat. It's about transformation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy designed for modern chaos, teaches us not just to survive, but to thrive amidst life's storms by mastering the art of control. Control not over others, but over ourselves. Welcome to Stoic Journal, where ancient wisdom meets modern challenges. If you're ready to embrace Stoic strategies that will empower you to sail through life's turbulent waters with grace and resilience, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the core of Stoicism, exploring how this timeless wisdom can be more than just a philosophy. It can be a practical toolkit for living a richer, more resilient life. So, if you're looking to turn challenges into opportunities and cultivate a steadfast serenity that lasts, stay tuned. Together, we'll unlock the secrets of Stoicism and discover how to harness its power every single day. Join me in embracing a life where every obstacle becomes a stepping stone to personal growth and fulfillment. If you appreciate what we're doing here and want to support this journey into Stoicism, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. And don't skip any part of the video. We've packed it with insights that unfold step by step, each one building on the last to transform your understanding and your life. When we dive into the teachings of Stoicism, one of the most powerful and life-changing principles we encounter is the concept of control. It's fascinating how this ancient philosophy, developed over 2 millennia ago, provides us with a tool so essential for our modern hectic lives. Stoicism teaches us a simple yet profound truth. Our true power lies not in extending our reach over the external world, but in mastering our own inner responses. This concept isn't about gaining control over others or the circumstances we find ourselves in. Rather, it's about understanding what is truly within our grasp, our thoughts, our reactions, and our actions. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves feeling frustrated or upset over things we simply cannot change? Maybe it's the weather ruining our weekend plans or a friend running late to a meetup. Our natural inclination might be to let these external events disturb our peace. However, Stoicism invites us to shift our focus. Instead of ruminating on the uncontrollable, Stoicism encourages us to ask, what can I control in this situation? The answer is almost always related to our internal state, our mindset, our readiness to adapt, and our decision on how to respond. This principle of focusing on what we can control helps us build resilience against the chaos of everyday life. By anchoring our energy on our internal state, we create a kind of mental fortress that external circumstances cannot breach. For instance, when facing a traffic jam that makes us late for an important appointment, instead of stewing in anger and frustration, Stoicism teaches us to use that time to reflect, plan our day, or simply enjoy some music. This change in perspective doesn't alter the traffic, but it dramatically transforms our experience of it. Moreover, understanding control is about accepting the limits of our influence. This acceptance does not mean resignation, but rather a strategic redirection of our efforts toward areas where we can make a real impact. It's like being the captain of a ship in a storm. While you can't control the storm, you have the authority over how you steer the ship and manage the crew. This metaphor encapsulates the Stoic approach, managing our ship, ourselves, with wisdom and integrity, regardless of the storm challenges around us. Practicing this Stoic principle also means preparing ourselves for various outcomes. It teaches us to remain composed, not only when things go our way, but also when they don't. This level of detachment from outcomes is incredibly freeing. It allows us to engage in our activities with full effort and commitment, but without the heavy burden of needing certain outcomes for our happiness. This is what Stoics mean when they talk about selective indifference. Caring deeply about our actions and efforts, while being indifferent to the fluctuations of fortune. The Stoic understanding of control is a powerful antidote to stress and anxiety. It grounds us in the present and focuses us on the actionable, empowering us to live with intention and tranquility. By internalizing this lesson, we don't just cope with life's unpredictabilities, we thrive amidst them. We become proactive participants in our lives, choosing responses that align with our deepest values, rather than being reactive to every external stimulus. Embracing the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control doesn't happen overnight. It requires mindfulness, self-reflection, and regular practice. But the rewards, increased serenity, effectiveness, and a profound sense of empowerment, are well worth the effort. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's keep this foundational principle in mind. It's not just about reading and understanding Stoic philosophy, it's about living it, one controlled, thoughtful response at a time. In Stoic philosophy, virtue is not just a moral compass, but the very core of a fulfilling life. It's interesting how Stoicism aligns the pursuit of virtue with the pursuit of happiness, a concept that might seem counterintuitive in today's fast-paced world, where happiness is often equated with pleasure or success. But Stoics view it differently. For them, happiness isn't found in external achievements or material possessions, but in living a life of virtue. So, what exactly does virtue mean in Stoicism? It encompasses four main qualities: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues plays a crucial role in how we navigate our lives. Wisdom involves the insightful understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Courage is about facing life's challenges with resilience and bravery. Justice relates to treating others with fairness and kindness. Temperance is the art of self-control and moderation. Together, these virtues form the Stoic ideal of a well-lived life. The Stoic pursuit of happiness through virtue is fundamentally different from the fleeting pleasures we often chase. Stoicism teaches us that true happiness is a state of inner peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing you've lived well according to your own principles. This kind of happiness is stable and enduring. It doesn't evaporate when external conditions change, because it's based not on what happens to us, but on how we choose to respond. This approach to happiness is incredibly empowering. It suggests that regardless of our external circumstances, we have the capacity to cultivate happiness within ourselves by developing virtuous qualities. Think about the implications of that. It means that our emotional and psychological well-being doesn't have to be at the mercy of our surroundings or situations, which are often beyond our control. Instead, happiness becomes something we actively build through our choices and actions. Practicing Stoic virtue also means striving to be better each day. It's about personal growth and self-improvement. For instance, when we practice temperance, we learn to resist impulses that might lead to excess or harm. When we practice justice, we contribute positively to our communities, promoting a sense of goodwill and support. Each act of virtue not only enhances our own lives, but also touches the lives of others around us, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Moreover, the Stoic link between virtue and happiness teaches us about the importance of aligning our actions with our values. In a world where we are often pulled in different directions by conflicting desires and pressures, Stoicism offers a clear directive: focus on living virtuously. This simplifies decision-making and reduces the stress and anxiety associated with trying to please everyone or achieve perfection. It guides us to focus on being good, rather than merely feeling good or looking good. Embracing Stoic virtues isn't about suppressing emotions or denying pleasure. It's about finding a deeper, more meaningful kind of happiness that sustains us through life's ups and downs. It challenges us to look beyond immediate gratification and consider the long-term effects of our actions on our character and well-being. In practice, living a life of Stoic virtue can be challenging. It requires constant vigilance and effort. It asks us to be mindful of our actions and choices, to reflect regularly on our behavior, and to strive continually towards embodying the Stoic ideals. But the payoff is immense. As we align more closely with these virtues, we find that our lives are richer, our relationships are stronger, and our souls are calmer. So, as we journey through the teachings of Stoicism, let's keep in mind that virtue is the key to genuine, lasting happiness. It's not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one, filled with growth, resilience, and a deep sense of fulfillment. In the pursuit of Stoic happiness, every step we take in virtue is a step towards a more peaceful and meaningful life. One of the most compelling aspects of Stoicism is how it teaches us to reframe our perceptions to change our reality. This concept might sound a bit like modern psychology, and you'd be right to think there are parallels. Stoicism, however, takes this idea back thousands of years and integrates it into a broader philosophy that addresses how we can lead fulfilling lives by focusing on what we truly control. So, how does Stoicism help us reframe our perception? It starts with the premise that it's not the events themselves that upset us, but rather our opinions about them. For example, if you get caught in a rainstorm and feel miserable, it's not necessarily the rain that's causing your misery, it's your perception of the situation. Perhaps you see the rain as an annoyance rather than a natural occurrence that brings much needed water to the earth. This shift in thinking, from seeing the rain as a personal inconvenience to viewing it as a beneficial ecological event, changes your emotional response to it. This Stoic principle of reframing perception is incredibly powerful because it puts us back in the driver's seat of our own emotions. Instead of being tossed around by external events, we get to choose our responses. This is done through what Stoics call the dichotomy of control, which is simply distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. We can't control the weather, the traffic, or other people's actions, but we can control our reactions to these things. Let's dive a bit deeper into how this works in practice. Imagine you're working on a project at work, and suddenly there's a change in project direction due to external factors beyond your control. You might initially feel frustrated or anxious about the changes and additional work. However, by applying Stoic thinking, you can reframe this situation. Instead of viewing it as a setback, see it as an opportunity to learn new skills or to demonstrate your flexibility and creativity. This doesn't just change how you feel about the situation, it changes the situation itself in terms of your experience of it. Moreover, this reframing of perception, according to Stoic principles, goes beyond mere positive thinking. It's about seeing the truth of a situation more clearly. It involves understanding the nature of the world as one of change and unpredictability, and then aligning our expectations and actions accordingly. This alignment reduces our disappointments and enhances our resilience, as we are no longer fighting against the inevitable flow of life, but moving with it. The practice of reframing perception also encourages us to focus on the present moment, instead of getting lost in regrets about the past or worries about the future. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on the here and now, on what we are doing at this moment, and how we can do it with virtue. This focus is liberating because it narrows down the vast array of things that might concern us to the few things we can actually influence. Reframing perception and reality in Stoicism isn't just a coping mechanism, it's a transformative process that leads to true inner peace. By consistently applying this Stoic practice, we begin to see that many of the walls we face are ones we have built ourselves with our misconceptions and misplaced beliefs. Breaking down these walls doesn't just change our view of the world, it changes the world we live in. The Stoic practice of reframing our perceptions is about understanding the true nature of events, recognizing our power to choose our responses, and focusing our efforts on what we can actually influence. This approach doesn't just help us handle life's challenges more effectively, it empowers us to lead lives marked by calm, clarity, and purpose. As we continue to explore and apply these Stoic teachings, we find that the quality of our lives is not determined by external circumstances, but by the perceptions and choices we make. In Stoicism, one of the most profound and perhaps most challenging concepts is amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This isn't just about accepting whatever life throws at us. It's about embracing it with open arms, not just as an unavoidable reality, but as something beneficial and necessary for our growth. It's a powerful idea that turns potential adversity into a source of strength. How do we begin to not just accept but love our fate? It starts with understanding that everything that happens can be seen as an opportunity. Stoicism teaches us that our character is formed not through our experiences, but through our responses to those experiences. When we love our fate, we are essentially saying that we trust in the natural flow of life and believe there is value in whatever happens. This doesn't mean we desire or wish for suffering or hardship, but rather that we find peace and purpose in the inevitability of such experiences. The beauty of amor fati lies in its radical optimism. Instead of fighting against the currents of life, we learn to swim with them. This perspective doesn't come easily, of course. It requires a deep philosophical shift, a sort of mental rewiring that allows us to see the silver linings in dark clouds, without being naive or dismissive of the hardships. For example, if you lose a job, it's natural to feel upset and anxious. However, embracing the amor fati would involve a shift in perspective, where you might see this event as an opportunity to pursue a path more aligned with your true passions, or to develop resilience and adaptability. Embracing amor fati also means letting go of bitterness and regret. Stoicism doesn't ask us to forget the past or ignore the pain. Instead, it encourages us to acknowledge our feelings, but not to allow them to control us. By loving our fate, we accept the past for what it is, a part of our journey that has led us to where we are now, contributing to who we have become. This acceptance frees us from the weight of past grievances, allowing us to move forward with a lighter spirit and a clearer mind. Moreover, amor fati is about finding joy in the journey itself, not just a destination. It's easy to think we'll be happy when we reach a certain milestone, when we get that job, when we buy that house, when we retire. But Stoicism teaches us that there's a profound joy available to us right here and now, in this very moment, if only we choose to see and embrace it. This doesn't mean we stop striving or becoming. It means we cherish the process as much as, if not more than, the outcomes. In practical terms, living with amor fati can start with small steps. It might mean taking a moment each day to reflect on something that didn't go as planned and finding something valuable in that experience. Perhaps it taught you a lesson, or maybe it strengthened a relationship through shared struggle. It could also involve more significant life changes, such as choosing a career path that feels true to your core values, even if it's less conventional or secure. Trusting that the challenges along the way will enrich your life's narrative. Amor fati enriches our lives by deepening our connection to the world and to ourselves. It helps us cultivate an inner resilience that acts as an anchor in the stormy seas of life. This love of fate doesn't make life easier, but it does make us stronger and more harmoniously aligned with the natural course of events. As we continue to explore Stoicism, let's try to see amor fati not just as a philosophical concept, but as a daily practice, a way to embrace each moment, each challenge, and each joy that life offers. By doing so, we transform our relationship with life itself, turning every experience into a pathway to greater wisdom and peace. Embarking on the journey to Stoicism is like starting a profound adventure, one that invites us to explore deep insights into our lives and fundamentally change how we interact with the world around us. It's not merely about learning a set of theories. It's about transforming those theories into everyday practices that strengthen our resilience, enhance our happiness, and deepen our understanding of life. The journey begins with a simple yet profound shift in perspective, recognizing that while we can't control external events, we can control our responses to them. This realization is the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's a liberating concept that frees us from feeling victimized by circumstances or other people's actions. Instead, it empowers us to take charge of our inner world. As we delve deeper into Stoicism, we learn to cultivate 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each of these virtues is not just an abstract ideal, but a practical guide to living well. Wisdom teaches us to see things as they really are. Courage gives us the strength to face challenges head-on. Justice guides us to treat others fairly. And temperance helps us find balance in all things. Embracing these virtues in daily life can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Another key aspect of the Stoic journey is developing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. This practice helps us become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and reactions. By observing ourselves without judgment, we can start to identify patterns that might lead us away from our Stoic ideals. For instance, we might notice that we tend to react impulsively when we're stressed, or that we hold on to grudges longer than is healthy. Awareness is the first step toward change. Practical exercises are also integral to this journey. One such exercise is the evening reflection, where we review our day and assess how well we lived up to our Stoic principles. Did we handle a stressful situation with composure? Did we treat everyone we encountered with fairness and kindness? These reflections not only help us learn from our experiences, but also reinforce our commitment to living a Stoic life. The journey to Stoicism also involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. This perspective shift is essential because it turns every obstacle into a teacher. When we face difficulties, instead of feeling defeated, we can ask ourselves, what can this situation teach me? This approach not only makes us more resilient, but also more open to learning and personal development. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to build a community or seek out like-minded individuals who are also on this path. Having a support system can be incredibly beneficial, as it provides us with encouragement, different perspectives, and companionship on our journey. Sharing experiences and challenges with others who understand and appreciate Stoic principles can enhance our own understanding and application of Stoicism. Finally, the journey to Stoicism is a lifelong pursuit. It's not about reaching a state of perfection, but about striving toward continuous improvement. It's about becoming more virtuous, more resilient, and more aligned with our true selves each day. As we progress, we'll find that the rewards of this philosophical path are not just about personal tranquility and resilience. They extend to improving our relationships with others and positively impacting the world around us. The journey to Stoicism is about growth and transformation. It challenges us to look inward, reassess our values, and align our actions with those values. It teaches us to be strong in the face of adversity and compassionate in our dealings with others. It's a path that not only enhances our own lives, but also has the potential to enrich the lives of everyone around us. Let's embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, ready to learn and grow in ways we might never have imagined. Integrating Stoicism into daily life is about much more than adopting a philosophical outlook. It's about transforming abstract Stoic principles into concrete actions and habits that enhance our everyday experiences. Practical Stoicism isn't just for times of crisis or philosophical reflection. It's for the ordinary moments, the everyday decisions, and the small challenges that shape our lives. The first step in practicing Stoicism daily is starting each day with intentionality. This means setting a few minutes aside each morning to contemplate the day ahead and remind ourselves of the Stoic virtues we aim to embody: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. It's about asking ourselves how we can apply these virtues in the day's activities. For example, how will I exhibit temperance in my eating habits or spending? How can I practice courage in my workplace or personal challenges? This morning ritual sets a purposeful tone for the day, aligning our actions with our Stoic ideals. Throughout the day, practical Stoicism involves being mindful of our reactions to events and people. It's about observing our automatic responses and asking whether they align with Stoic principles. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of reacting with frustration or anger, we pause and consider a more measured Stoic response. This might mean taking a deep breath and recalling the Stoic view that we can control our reactions, even if we can't control external events. This habit of pausing and choosing our response can transform our interactions and significantly reduce stress and conflict in our lives. Another key aspect of practical Stoicism is dealing with negative emotions effectively. Stoicism teaches us that negative emotions are often the result of mistaken judgments or excessive attachments to things beyond our control. When we feel overwhelmed by negative emotions, it's helpful to step back and analyze their source. Are we upset because of something outside our control? Are we placing too much importance on external validation or material success? By questioning the roots of our emotions and aligning our expectations with Stoic principles, we can regain our composure and perspective. Practical Stoicism also extends to how we handle interpersonal relationships. Stoics emphasize the importance of justice and kindness in dealing with others. This means practicing empathy, being fair in our judgments, and considering the common good in our decisions. It's about treating others with respect and understanding, even when we disagree or when others do not treat us as we'd hope. By embodying these virtues in our relationships, we not only live more stoically but also contribute to a more harmonious and supportive community. In our pursuit of personal growth, practical Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our day each evening. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but about honest self-assessment. What did I do well today? Where could I have been more stoic? This practice of evening reflection helps solidify the day's lessons and prepares us to be even more virtuous and resilient tomorrow. It reinforces the Stoic commitment to continual improvement and helps us track our progress in living a Stoic life. Finally, practical Stoicism involves embracing challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. This means viewing obstacles not as impediments but as chances to practice and strengthen our Stoic virtues. Whether it's a difficult project at work, a personal setback, or an unexpected change in plans, each challenge is a chance to apply Stoic wisdom and resilience. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, Stoicism becomes not just a philosophy we read about, but a vibrant, living guide. It influences how we think, how we react, how we relate to others, and how we understand the world. Through practical Stoicism, we don't just survive the vicissitudes of life, we thrive amidst them, finding deeper satisfaction and peace in our journey through life. As we close today's journey into the heart of Stoicism, remember that embracing this philosophy is about more than just understanding. It's about living. Each moment, each decision, and each challenge offers a new opportunity to practice resilience, wisdom, and virtue. By integrating Stoicism into our daily lives, we don't just change ourselves, we change our entire world, one thoughtful action at a time. Have you ever noticed how just a few seconds of intense anger can cause more damage than you thought possible? Imagine this. In just the time it takes to snap your fingers, relationships can be strained and days can be ruined. It's startling, isn't it? How powerful and potentially destructive a single moment of anger can be. But what if I told you that this same powerful force, when understood and harnessed, can become a profound tool for personal growth and strength? Today we dive deep into the ancient yet incredibly relevant world of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring hardship, but transforming our responses to them for greater peace and clarity. I invite you all to engage in this conversation. Comment below with your thoughts and experiences regarding anger. How open are you to exploring Stoic ways to master your emotions? If you're someone who seeks to grow, who loves to challenge your own boundaries of understanding, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Spread the word and help others discover the power of Stoicism. And stay tuned, especially if you're skeptical about what Stoicism can offer. This video is packed with insights that might just change your mind. Together, we'll explore not just the theory, but the practical applications of Stoicism in controlling anger, with real-life examples and actionable advice. It promises to be an enlightening experience, so watch till the end to gain a full understanding of how to transform anger from a destructive impulse into a constructive force. Let's get started. Have you ever suddenly found yourself in the middle of a heated argument? Heart racing, with words spilling out that you instantly wish you could take back? That moment, that explosion of anger, seems to come from nowhere, right? It's almost like a switch flips inside us. One minute everything is fine, and the next, we're swept up in a wave of emotions so strong that it can feel uncontrollable. This is what I like to call the burst of anger. A sudden release that can disrupt not just your day, but potentially your life. Think about the last time you felt this burst of anger. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a frustration at work. It's something we've all faced. Anger is not just a simple emotion. It's a complex response that can lead to regrettable actions and hurtful words. And let's be honest, it often leaves a trail of damage in its wake, from strained relationships to missed opportunities for understanding and connection. But what if I told you there's a different way to handle this burst? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Stoics teach us that we may not have control over every situation we encounter, but we can control our response. It's not about suppressing your anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that moment of eruption and choosing a different path. Stoicism offers us tools to pause and reflect instead of react. It teaches us to look at anger through a lens of awareness and understanding. Why am I angry? What triggered this response? By asking these questions, we start to take power back from our impulsive reactions and begin to manage our emotions more constructively. This approach doesn't diminish the validity of our feelings, but empowers us to handle them with clarity and strength. It's about transforming what seems like an uncontrollable outburst into a moment of choice. Every time you feel that surge of anger, remember, this isn't just an emotional response. It's an opportunity to grow, to embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, offers a unique lens through which we can view our emotions, especially those as volatile and impactful as anger. So, what do the Stoics say about anger? Simply put, they believe that anger stems not from the external events we experience, but from our internal judgments and reactions to those events. Now, you might be wondering, how does that help me when I'm actually angry? According to Stoicism, the key lies in recognizing that we have the power to question and adjust our immediate reactions. For instance, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your instant reaction might be anger. Your heart starts pounding, you might yell or gesture at the other driver, and your mood is off for the next few hours. But here's the Stoic twist. Instead of succumbing to anger, you pause. You reflect on why you're angry. Is it truly because of the other driver, or is it because you've allowed their actions to disturb your peace? This reflection is at the heart of the Stoic approach to anger. It's about stepping back and asking, what is within my control? You can't control the traffic, the other driver, or even the fact that you were cut off, but you can control your response. This doesn't mean you don't feel the rush of emotion. It means you acknowledge it and then choose not to let it dictate your actions. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions, anger included, should be indicators, not dictators. They signal to us that something is happening that might require our attention, but they shouldn't sweep us away into reactive behavior. When we look at anger through this Stoic lens, it becomes less about suppressing anger and more about managing it. It's not suppression, because you're not denying or ignoring your feelings. You're acknowledging them, analyzing them, and then making a conscious decision about how to proceed. This perspective is incredibly empowering. Think about it. If you can master this Stoic practice, how many situations would be less stressful? How much more effective could your communication be? How much more peace could you bring into your life? As we continue this discussion, I invite you to consider the Stoic idea that virtue is the sole good. This doesn't just mean moral excellence, but refers to the idea of living in accordance with reason and wisdom, especially in the face of emotions like anger. By striving toward virtue, we can transform potentially destructive anger into constructive responses that align with our deepest values. So, as we unpack these ideas, remember that Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges. It's about thriving through them by harnessing our inner strength and wisdom. Controlling anger doesn't mean we never feel angry. Rather, it's about managing our response when that feeling arises. Here's a roadmap you can use to cultivate a more measured reaction when you're tempted to let anger take the wheel. First and foremost, recognize the onset of anger. This is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to be observant of our inner states. Notice when your body begins to show signs of anger. Maybe your heartbeat accelerates, your breathing gets shallow, or you start to clench your fists. These are your body's signals, alerting you that it's time to intervene. Once you recognize these signs, the next step is to pause. This is where the power of Stoicism really shines. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor and philosopher, emphasized the importance of pausing to separate our initial reactions from our deliberate actions. By pausing, you give yourself a moment to step back from the immediate emotional response. This doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just a few seconds can make a significant difference. During this pause, engage in reflective thinking. Ask yourself, why am I feeling angry? Is it because your expectations weren't met? Is it because you feel disrespected? Understanding the why behind your anger can help you address the root cause rather than just the symptoms. This step is about responding with reason rather than reacting out of emotion. Now let's talk about reappraisal of the situation, which is a classic Stoic strategy. This involves reframing the event that triggered your anger. For example, if someone has acted in a way that angers you, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, consider alternative explanations. Perhaps they're having a bad day, or they're unaware of the impact of their actions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the intensity of your anger. Another practical step is to focus on what you can control. Stoicism draws a firm line between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control other people's actions, the past, or the fact that certain things have already happened, but you can control your response, your thoughts, and your actions moving forward. Concentrating on these aspects reduces feelings of helplessness and frustration, which are often fuel for anger. Implementing calming techniques is also vital. Once you've paused and reflected, use techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or even stepping away from the situation if possible. These methods aren't just about cooling down. They're about giving your rational mind time to regain control from your emotions. Lastly, practice regular reflection. Stoicism isn't just about reacting well in the moment. It's also about preparing for future challenges. Regularly reflect on your day or your reactions to certain situations. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do better next time? This ongoing practice builds your resilience and equips you with more effective strategies for managing anger. By integrating these steps into your daily life, you align more closely with Stoic principles, turning each burst of anger into an opportunity for personal growth and wisdom. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate anger entirely, but to master it in such a way that it no longer controls you. Each step you take is a step toward not just greater peace, but also deeper understanding and more effective living. Let's take a deeper look at how we can put Stoicism into action, particularly when it comes to transforming our experiences of anger into opportunities for growth and reflection. Stoicism isn't just about handling anger passively. It's about actively converting it into something constructive. One of the most empowering Stoic principles is the concept of using every obstacle as a means to practice virtue. Anger, like any other obstacle, challenges us to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. When you feel anger rising, ask yourself, what is this anger teaching me? It could be showing you where your expectations might be unrealistic, or where you might need to develop greater empathy. For example, consider a situation at work where you feel repeatedly frustrated by a colleague's actions. Instead of letting this build into resentment or outbursts of anger, use this as a Stoic exercise. Each instance can be a moment to practice patience, to communicate your feelings constructively, or to reinforce your boundaries effectively. Here, anger becomes a signal, a cue that something needs your attention, perhaps a part of your own response mechanisms that you can refine and improve. Moreover, turning anger into opportunity means focusing not just on controlling outbursts, but also on cultivating an underlying serenity that comes from Stoic acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means recognizing and adapting to things as they are. When you accept that certain things are beyond your control, like other people's actions or life's unpredictable events, you free yourself from the burden of trying to force things to be different. This acceptance can significantly alleviate feelings of anger. Another practical way to put Stoicism into action is through what Marcus Aurelius called turning the obstacle upside down. Every time you're faced with something that makes you angry, it's an opportunity to turn the situation on its head and extract something beneficial from it. This could mean learning to communicate more clearly, setting more realistic expectations, or even just understanding your own triggers more deeply. Each angry moment can be flipped to reveal a lesson or a stepping stone to better self-mastery. Stoic practice also involves reflecting on the impermanence of our emotions. Anger feels intense and all-consuming when it hits, but like everything else, it passes. Reminding yourself of this can help lessen the grip of anger. You can say to yourself, this too shall pass, and focus on maintaining your composure in the moment, knowing that the intensity of your anger will diminish with time. Lastly, share these lessons with others. Stoicism teaches that wisdom is not just for personal benefit, but is something to be shared. By discussing how you turned an angry moment into a learning opportunity, you can help others see their challenges in a new light. This not only reinforces your own learning, but also extends the benefit beyond yourself, turning personal growth into communal wisdom. So, as we navigate through our days, let's try to view each anger-inducing incident as a chance to apply Stoic wisdom, to grow in virtue, and to contribute to a more rational, composed world. It's about seizing those moments of anger and transforming them into something that not only enhances our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Empowerment through Stoicism is about more than just managing our anger. It's about finding strength and resilience within ourselves that we might not have realized we possessed. When we talk about empowerment in Stoicism, we're talking about the power to lead our lives with a sense of purpose, peace, and perspective that remains stable no matter the external circumstances. Stoicism teaches us that true empowerment comes from within. It doesn't rely on external validation or circumstances. Instead, it builds on our ability to control our own responses to the world around us. Consider this. How often have you felt at the mercy of your emotions, tossed around by feelings of anger, frustration, or disappointment? Stoicism offers a different path. It invites us to step back and ask ourselves, can I choose a different response? Do I have the power to see this differently? And the answer more often than not is yes. This self-empowerment is realized through the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control. You can't control what others say or do. You can't control the past, and you certainly can't control the global events that impact your life. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. When you internalize this, every moment of frustration or anger becomes an opportunity to practice this principle. You start to see challenges as chances to exercise your agency and autonomy. For instance, when you're faced with a difficult situation that stirs anger, Stoicism empowers you to choose a response that aligns with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond with deliberation and integrity. This might mean taking a deep breath and deciding to address a conflict with calm words, or it might mean choosing to walk away from a situation that is not beneficial to engage with. Moreover, Stoicism empowers us by changing our relationship with our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by anger, we learn to recognize it as a natural response that we can observe, understand, and manage. This emotional intelligence does not just alter our interactions, it changes the way we lead our lives. We become more resilient as we're no longer derailed by every emotional upheaval, and more adaptable, capable of thriving in a variety of circumstances. Empowerment also comes from the Stoic practice of self-reflection. By regularly examining our choices, behaviors, and reactions, we gain deeper insights into our character and motivations. This reflective practice not only helps us make better decisions in the future, but also fosters a profound sense of self-awareness and self-acceptance. We learn to trust ourselves, to lean on our internal compass, rather than being swayed by every passing storm. And finally, empowerment through Stoicism is about contributing to the greater good. Stoicism teaches that we are part of a larger community and that our choices impact others. By choosing to respond to situations with reason and calm, we contribute to a more rational and peaceful world. We lead by example, showing others that it is possible to respond to life's challenges with grace and strength. In embracing Stoicism, we find a powerful ally in our quest for a fulfilled and balanced life. So as we continue on this journey, let's remind ourselves of the incredible strength that lies within us, ready to be harnessed through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. It's not just about controlling anger. It's about unlocking a level of personal power and resilience that transforms all aspects of our lives. This isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about understanding and directing your emotions in a way that's productive and healthy. Stoicism provides us with tools to not only confront our feelings, but to transform our entire approach to dealing with emotions, especially challenging ones like anger. Let's unpack this a bit. In Stoicism, one of the core principles is that our emotions are largely the result of our judgments and beliefs. When we feel angry, it's often because we've made a judgment about a situation or person, that they've wronged us, that an injustice has occurred, or that something should not be the way it is. Here lies a powerful opportunity. If we can change our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To master our emotions, we start by examining these judgments critically. Ask yourself, why do I believe this situation is bad? Is it within my control? Can I look at this differently? This type of questioning is central to Stoic practice and fosters a kind of emotional agility that can be incredibly freeing. Imagine you're stuck in traffic and you start to feel that familiar rise of frustration. A Stoic approach would encourage you to analyze that frustration. You might think, being angry won't clear the traffic. Can I use this time productively instead? Perhaps this is a good moment to listen to a podcast or an audiobook. Suddenly the situation hasn't changed, but your perception of it has, and so has your emotional state. This is where the concept of amor fati, or love of fate, comes into play. It's a Stoic mindset that invites you to embrace whatever happens as an opportunity. It's about more than just acceptance. It's a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds, even when it unfolds in unexpected ways. When you start to practice amor fati, you're not only managing your anger better, but you're also cultivating a profound peace that comes from the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way. Moreover, mastering emotions with Stoicism means developing a strong sense of inner fortitude. Every time you choose not to lash out in anger, you strengthen your character. You start to build a reputation with yourself as someone who is dependable, stable, and calm. This internal trust is crucial. It's the foundation of self-esteem and personal integrity. And let's not forget the power of preparation. Stoics are big on preparing mentally for what might go wrong. This isn't pessimism, it's practical wisdom. By thinking ahead about how you might deal with potential frustrations or anger-inducing situations, you equip yourself with a toolkit for emotional management. When those moments arise, you're not caught off guard. You have a plan, and you have practices in place, like deep breathing, reframing your thoughts, or stepping back to gain perspective. Mastering your emotions with Stoicism isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-reflection, practice, and growth. It requires consistency, honesty with oneself, and the courage to face up to our emotions in a fundamentally different way. But the rewards are immense. Not only do you gain control over your anger and other emotions, but you also gain a serene and resilient spirit that can significantly enhance your quality of life. Ever felt like life is pulling you in a million different directions, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to find your footing? Well, you're not alone. Right now, across the globe, millions are feeling overwhelmed, not by a lack of dreams, but by the chaos of everyday demands that cloud their true potential. Today we're going to strip back the layers of noise and rediscover clarity through the lens of Stoicism, a philosophy that has empowered thinkers and leaders for centuries to face life's turbulence with calm and resilience. Now, if you find yourself nodding along, thinking, yes, that's exactly what I need, then I'm glad you're here. And if you appreciate what we're doing, showing a little love by hitting that subscribe button won't cost a thing, but will mean the world to us. Stick with me through this journey today, because every single moment of this video is packed with insights that could just be the answer you've been looking for. Together we'll explore timeless Stoic strategies to reset, restart, and refocus. Because sometimes, all you need to change your life is to view it from a new perspective. Let's dive in. Let's talk about a concept that might seem simple on the surface, but is incredibly transformative once you dive deep. Reset. Specifically, I want to focus on the idea of clearing the clutter. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Just saying it out loud feels like a breath of fresh air. Now, when you think of clutter, you might picture a desk buried under piles of papers, or a closet stuffed to the brim with clothes you haven't worn in years. But I'm not just talking about physical clutter. I'm talking about the mental and emotional clutter that piles up in our lives, often without us even noticing. I'm talking about the mental and emotional clutter that piles up in our lives, often without us even noticing. Here's a personal story for you. A while back, I found myself feeling unusually stressed and anxious. I was meeting deadlines, hitting my targets, doing all the right things, but something felt off. My mind felt cluttered, like an attic filled with old boxes. Boxes of worries, doubts, and old grudges I couldn't seem to throw out. I needed a reset, not just superficially but deeply. The Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the importance of simplifying life to see clearly. They believed in discarding not just unnecessary physical possessions, but also unnecessary thoughts and emotions that complicate our lives. This Stoic principle became my guiding light. I began by asking myself tough questions, the kind that make you pause and really think. What am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What fears are just old habits in disguise? This process of questioning is like sorting through that attic. Each item, each thought, each emotion needs to be picked up, examined, and then, most importantly, decided upon. Do I keep it? Do I let it go? This is where the real clearing starts. It's about recognizing that some worries are just noise, distractions from what truly matters. They don't need to be in my space, in my head, or in my heart. Resetting is about making space for new growth, new experiences. It's like preparing a garden at the start of spring. You clear out the dead leaves and weeds, not because the work is fun, but because you know it's necessary. For new life to thrive, the Stoics remind us that every new day brings with it a chance to start afresh, to realign with our values and our goals. They teach us that freedom comes not from external achievements, but from internal balance and peace. As I embarked on this journey of clearing out, I started small. I tackled one box at a time. One week I focused on letting go of a grudge. Another week it was about dialing back the self-doubt, turning down the volume on that critical inner voice that said, "You can't do this." Each act of letting go felt like a weight lifting off my shoulders. Now, let me ask you, what's cluttering your mind? What's taking up space in your life that no longer serves a positive purpose? Maybe it's resentment over a past failure, or anxiety about an uncertain future. Maybe it's the unrealistic standards you set for yourself, or the toxic relationships that drain your energy. Imagine if you started clearing that clutter. Imagine the freedom, the lightness, the room to breathe and grow. It's not just about removing the bad, but about making space for the good, for something better. This isn't about denying your past experiences, but about choosing not to let them define or limit you anymore. And here's the thing about resetting. It's not a one-time event. It's a continuous process, a habit you develop. Each day is a new opportunity to clear away what doesn't belong and reinforce what does. It's about building resilience, about learning to bounce back faster and stronger because you're not weighed down by unnecessary baggage. So as you listen to this, think about what you can reset in your life today. It doesn't have to be big. Start small. Maybe it's deciding to forgive someone, to forgive yourself, or to set aside a worry that's been nagging at you. Remember, each piece of clutter you clear makes room for something invaluable. Peace of mind, clarity, and the strength to face whatever comes next. As the Stoics would say, the obstacle in the path becomes the path. Every challenge, every bit of clutter we clear, shapes us, molds us into the people we are meant to be. So let's reset, not just once, but as a way of life. Let's make it count. Because in the clarity of a decluttered mind and heart lies the power to craft a truly fulfilling life. Now, let's tackle the concept of restart. This is where the real grit of life comes into play. It's about picking yourself up after you've been knocked down, dusting yourself off, and stepping back into the ring. It's a test of courage, a true measure of your resilience. And let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is for everyone. We all face moments when the easiest thing to do would be to give up. But here's where Stoic wisdom shines through, teaching us that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. There was a time in my life when I hit rock bottom. I had faced a major setback in my career, and everything I had worked so hard for seemed to crumble right before my eyes. It felt like standing amidst the ruins of a once glorious castle that I had built, brick by brick. The temptation to just sit in the rubble was overwhelming. But here's the kicker. The Stoics say, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And that's what I did. I made my obstacle my way forward. Restarting isn't about brushing off your failures as if they're nothing. No, it's about acknowledging them, learning from them. It's about looking your failures in the eye and saying, you can't keep me down. Because the truth is, every failure is ripe with potential to teach us something invaluable, something that success never could. I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? The answers to those questions were the first steps I took toward my restart. I started by setting small, manageable goals. It wasn't about reclaiming all my lost ground in a day. Instead, it was about moving forward one small step at a time. Each step, no matter how small, was a victory. It was a defiance of failure, a testament to my resilience. And with each step, my journey forward gathered momentum. But let's be real, restarting can be daunting. You're not always going to have clear direction. That's where the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, comes in. It's about visualizing the worst-case scenarios and preparing for them. Not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. When you've already faced your fears in your mind, taking action in the real world becomes less daunting. It's like rehearsing for a play. When the curtains lift, you're ready to perform. And here's a thought for you. How often do you hold back because the fear of failure paralyzes you? Imagine what you could achieve if you viewed each failure as a step up, not a stumble. Picture yourself as a phoenix, rising from the ashes, reborn and renewed. That's the essence of restarting. It's not about never failing. It's about never letting failure have the last word. During my restart, I also learned the importance of community. Sharing my struggles, being vulnerable, it connected me with others who were on their own paths of restarting. We supported each other, cheered for each small win, and pushed through setbacks together. Remember, you're not alone. Reach out, connect, share your journey. The strength you gain from others can be your greatest asset when restarting. Stoicism also teaches us the value of amor fati, a love of fate. It means embracing everything that happens to you, including your failures. It's about saying, this is exactly what I needed, because sometimes the lessons we need most can only be learned the hard way. Embracing your journey with all its ups and downs makes restarting not just a necessity, but a privilege. So, if you're standing at the crossroads, unsure if you can face starting over, let me leave you with this. Every restart is a declaration of hope. It's a commitment to yourself that you are not defined by your past, but by the courage you show in moving forward. And every time you choose to restart, you are taking another step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Don't wait for the perfect moment to restart. Create it. Make today the day you pick up the pieces and craft a new beginning. Your next chapter is waiting to be written, and it starts with a single decision: to rise, restart, and embrace the journey ahead. Remember, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. So, think like a Stoic, restart like a warrior, and transform your life into the masterpiece it's meant to be. Now let's talk about a crucial step in our journey of self-reinvention: refocusing. Refocusing is about keeping your eyes on the prize, about aligning your daily actions with your ultimate goals. It's easy to get sidetracked in this fast-paced world, to lose sight of what we truly want. The noise of everyday life can drown out our deepest desires and true intentions. But here's where the art of refocusing comes into play, guiding us back to our path, to what really matters. There was a time in my life when I felt I was drifting. My goals seemed blurry and my actions didn't align with what I deeply aspired to achieve. I was busy, sure, but not productive in the way I wanted to be. It was like sailing a boat without a compass. I was moving, but not necessarily forward. That's when I stumbled upon a Stoic principle that changed everything: the concept of prosocia, or attentive focus. This ancient idea taught me the importance of mindfulness and intentionality in every action. Refocusing means being deliberate about what you let into your life. It's about pruning the unnecessary, the trivial, the distractions that sap your energy and scatter your focus. It's about asking yourself, is what I'm doing right now serving my ultimate purpose? If not, it might be time to let it go. Let's get practical here. Start by defining your top priorities. What are the 3 things that, if you achieve them, would make the biggest impact on your life? Write them down. Keep them somewhere you can see every day. And each day, do at least one thing that moves you closer to one of those goals. It's about small, consistent actions. As the Stoics believed, it's not the grand gestures but the daily decisions that shape our destinies. Refocusing also involves setting boundaries, sturdy, visible lines that protect your time and energy. It means saying no to unnecessary commitments that do not align with your goals. It means being okay with disappointing others, to not disappoint yourself. Stoicism teaches us that our time and our focus are among the few things we can control. Use them wisely. Here's something to ponder. How often do you find yourself doing something just because it's what you've always done? Maybe it's a job that no longer fulfills you, a habit that no longer serves you, or a relationship that drains more than it gives. Imagine the clarity and freedom you'd feel if you started saying yes only to things that align with your deeper values and goals. That's what refocusing is all about. During my own refocusing phase, I realized how scattered my efforts had been. I was trying to chase too many goals, which meant I wasn't making meaningful progress in any area. I took a step back and reevaluated my path. I started to cut out the clutter, not just in my physical space, but in my commitments, in my social media use, in how I spent my leisure time. Every piece of clutter cleared was like removing a blindfold. My goals came back into sharp focus. Refocusing is not a one-time fix. It's a continuous process. Life changes, goals evolve, and our focus needs to shift accordingly. It's like recalibrating a compass when you find out you've been slightly off course. It's not a failure. It's a necessary part of navigating. And if you're wondering if it's too late to refocus, let me remind you of a Stoic truth. It's never too late to be who you might have been. Every moment is a chance to turn things around, to align yourself with your aspirations. Your past decisions do not have to dictate your future. The power to change your focus lies in your hands, right here, right now. So take a moment today to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Is it what matters most to me? If not, what can I change? Remember, refocusing is about more than just achieving goals. It's about crafting a life that's truly worth living, a life that reflects your deepest values and aspirations. Refocus now, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Let every step you take be purposeful. Let every decision be intentional, and watch as the pieces of the puzzle start to fit together, revealing a picture of a life that's not only successful, but also deeply fulfilling. As we wrap up our journey today, let's talk about maintaining momentum. It's one thing to start anew, to reset your compass, restart your engine, or refocus your lens, but it's another to keep that energy flowing, to keep pushing forward even when the initial spark has dimmed. This, my friends, is where the true challenge lies, and also where the most rewarding part of our journey begins. Remember, every great story you've ever heard, every inspiring journey you've admired, didn't just happen overnight. They were built on consistency, perseverance, and a steadfast commitment to the end goal. And here's where the Stoic principle of endurance, or what they call hippomone, comes into play. It's about enduring the long march, sticking to your path even when it's steep and fraught with obstacles. Think about the last time you started something new. Maybe it was a fitness regimen, a business venture, or a personal project. The beginning was likely exciting, filled with energy and grand visions of success. But as time went on, perhaps the enthusiasm waned. Maybe obstacles appeared that you hadn't anticipated. This is natural. It's a part of any worthwhile endeavor. But the key to success? It isn't just starting strong. It's about continuing strong. So how do we maintain this momentum? First, by setting small, incremental goals. Break down your big, audacious goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Each small victory keeps your spirits high and your focus sharp. It's like climbing a mountain, one step at a time, one breath at a time, and before you know it, you'll look back and marvel at how high you've climbed. Another vital tool for maintaining momentum is reflection. Regularly take stock of your progress. What have you learned? What would you do differently? What can you celebrate? Reflecting isn't just about patting yourself on the back. It's about learning and adjusting your strategy as you go. It's about being honest with yourself and addressing the gaps without judgment. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you paused to appreciate how far you've come? Often, we are our own harshest critics, and in the rush to achieve more, we forget to acknowledge our achievements. Yet, Stoicism teaches us the importance of gratitude, not just for others, but for our own efforts and progress. Gratitude not only brightens our outlook, but also fortifies our will to persevere. And speaking of perseverance, remember to lean on your support network. Share your journey, seek advice, and offer support to others in return. Momentum is easier to maintain when you know you're not alone, when you have people cheering for you, waiting at the finish line and running alongside you. Every day, we carry invisible weights, habits that drag us down, cloud our minds, and distract us from the truly important things in life. It's time to let go of these burdens and embrace the clarity and focus that comes with a Stoic way of thinking. Let me take a moment to remind you that this journey we're on together is all about transformation. It's about growing, becoming the best version of ourselves, and breaking free from the habits, mindsets, and barriers that have been holding us back. And today, we're tackling a big one, a life-altering topic that can change the course of your future. We're going to explore 4 things you have to stop doing immediately. These aren't just simple mistakes, fleeting bad habits, or temporary setbacks. These are the subtle yet powerful forces that prevent you from reaching your full potential. They block your progress and prevent you from living the life you're capable of living. These habits, if you stop them today, will free you from your past and accelerate you toward your future. I know that each one of us has dreams, goals, and ambitions. Some of those dreams may feel so far out of reach, but I'm here to tell you, they're not. They're waiting for you to step into them. Today, we're going to uncover the 4 things that are keeping you from stepping fully into your power. As we dive into these transformative insights, remember, if you find value in peeling back these layers and discovering new paths to your personal best, hitting that subscribe button helps us bring more of this content to you. It's free, and it ensures you don't miss out on any part of this journey to empowerment. And don't skip any part of the video. Every second is designed to help you grow stronger, more focused, and resilient, just like the Stoics of old. Are you ready to make some significant changes? Let's get started and shed these 4 critical habits for a brighter, more fulfilling tomorrow. You might not realize it, but every time you let a shadow of doubt creep into your thoughts, you're stepping back from the life you're meant to lead. Doubt is sneaky. It's like that quiet voice at a party that keeps whispering, "You're not quite right. You don't really belong. You're just not good enough." But here's a Stoic truth for you. Doubt is only as powerful as the attention you give it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we can't. Your thoughts? They're yours to shape. Think about the times when doubt has held you back from taking a chance. Maybe it stopped you from applying for that job, asking that question, or starting a new project. Now, imagine what could have unfolded if you had pushed past that doubt. It's all about perception. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus weren't free from doubt because they were supremely confident. No, they learned to challenge the validity of their doubts and focus on their strengths. Let's break it down. Self-doubt often comes from our fear of failure, of not meeting expectations, ours or someone else's. But what if you viewed potential failure not as a setback, but as a step forward? After all, every attempt, successful or not, teaches us something vital. It's about learning to trust the process, embracing each experience as a part of your growth. Think of doubt as a signal, not a stop sign. It's telling you where you need to focus, where there's room to expand and improve. Now, consider the idea that you are the writer of your own life script. Each time doubt starts scripting stories of fear and failure, grab that pen and rewrite it with stories of strength and resilience. Remember, No great story is complete without challenges, without moments where the hero could have turned back. Yet, it's not the doubts they faced that define their stories, but their decision to keep going despite them. Another Stoic practice to help manage doubt involves preparation and reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your actions and thoughts. Where did doubt creep in? How did you handle it? Could you have managed it differently? This reflection isn't about judging yourself harshly, but about preparing better for future encounters with doubt. The Stoics were big on journaling, using it as a tool to reflect and gain clarity. This doesn't have to be a lengthy process. A few minutes each day can provide profound insights. And while we're discussing insights, let's not overlook the power of visualization, a technique used by Stoics and modern achievers alike. When doubt tells you that you can't, take a moment to visualize yourself succeeding. Picture the steps you'll take, the obstacles you'll overcome, and the success waiting on the other side. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a rehearsal for reality, a way to condition your mind to act beyond doubt. Finally, remember that overcoming doubt is not about never feeling it. That's nearly impossible. It's about not letting it control you. It's about acknowledging its presence, nodding politely, and then moving forward with your actions aligned with your values and goals. Every time you choose action over doubt, you're not just moving closer to your goals, you're also strengthening your Stoic resolve, building a mindset geared toward growth and resilience. So, next time you hear that whisper of doubt, recognize it for what it is, an old habit, not a truth. Challenge it with your new habit of resilience, armed with Stoic wisdom, and watch as you transform not only your actions, but your outcomes. Doubt has only the power to stop you if you let it. Instead, let it be the reason you move forward with more determination, equipped with the wisdom of the Stoics to guide your path. It's incredibly easy to fall into the trap of looking at others and feeling like you're not measuring up. Scroll through any social media platform for a few minutes, and you might find yourself feeling as though everyone else's life is more exciting, more successful, or simply happier than yours. But here's something crucial to remember. What you're seeing is a curated display, not the full story. This comparison game is not just misleading, it's harmful. It skews our perception of our own lives and can make us feel inadequate without just cause. Stoicism teaches us a valuable lesson here. Focus on what affects your own progress and virtues, not the apparent successes of others. Imagine if Marcus Aurelius, Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, had wasted his time comparing his reign or philosophical writings to those of his predecessors or neighboring rulers. Instead, he focused on his own duties and the wisdom he could cultivate from his experiences. By centering on our own journey, we embrace the Stoic principle of controlling only what is within our power, our actions, reactions, and personal growth. When you catch yourself comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel, try to redirect that energy. Think about your own achievements and the obstacles you've overcome. Each person's life is a complex tapestry of experiences, challenges, and triumphs. By comparing, we reduce this rich complexity to a simple, often inaccurate scoreboard. More importantly, we risk overshadowing our own experiences and undervaluing our unique paths. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to use comparison, if at all, only as a tool for self-improvement, not as a measure of self-worth. For instance, instead of feeling envious of a friend's new job, use that moment to reflect on your own career goals and the steps you can take to achieve them. This turns a potentially negative comparison into a constructive plan for personal progress. It's about transforming envy into inspiration. Reflect on this. The only true comparison that brings value is the one you make with yourself, where you were yesterday versus where you are today. Are you kinder, more knowledgeable, or more disciplined? This self-reflection is fundamental in Stoicism. It keeps you grounded in your own progress and focused on what truly matters, your own development and contentment. Another practical step to lessen the habit of comparing yourself to others is to limit your exposure to the sources of comparison. If social media makes you feel inadequate, adjust how you use it. Follow accounts that inspire and teach rather than those that spark envy. Use these platforms to connect and learn rather than to assess your self-worth. Remember also the Stoic practice of negative visualization. It's about imagining the worst-case scenarios to appreciate what you have. This doesn't mean dwelling on the negative, but rather using it to cultivate gratitude for your present situation. It's a powerful antidote to the dissatisfaction bred by comparison. When you feel thankful for what you have, the achievements of others seem less like a threat and more like shared human potential. Breaking the habit of comparing yourself to others isn't about ignoring the success of those around you. It's about reshaping how you perceive and react to that information. It's about fostering a mindset that values personal growth and inner peace over external validation. This way, you not only adhere to Stoic wisdom, but also create a more fulfilling and contented life for yourself. Remember, in the grand narrative of your life, the only character you're truly responsible for is you. How you develop that character, how you enrich your own story, that's where your focus should be. Carrying the past around is like dragging a suitcase filled with old books you'll never read again. It's heavy, it's exhausting, and it doesn't serve you one bit. We've all got that suitcase. Inside, you'll find our mistakes, our regrets, and those moments when things just didn't go the way we hoped. Now, imagine setting that suitcase down for good. Feels freeing, right? That's what we're talking about today. Letting go of those past burdens to make room for a brighter, lighter future. Stoicism offers a robust framework for dealing with the past. Stoics emphasize living in the present because that's all we truly have control over. The past? It's done. You can't change it, but you can change your perspective on it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look back over the past with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too." What he's suggesting isn't that we dwell on the past, but that we learn from it and then move on, applying those lessons to live better today. Reflecting on the past is only useful to the extent that it teaches us. Beyond that, dwelling on old failures or missed opportunities is a trap. It saps your energy, focusing your mind on scenarios that no longer exist, except in your thoughts. So how do we stop living in the past? Start by acknowledging it. Recognize the things that happened, understand the emotions they stir up, and then practice letting them go. This could be as simple as saying to yourself, "Yes, that happened. It hurt, but I am no longer in that moment. I am here now." Another Stoic practice that can help is the discipline of assent, which involves consciously choosing which thoughts to accept and which to reject. When a thought about the past arises, assess it. Is this thought helpful? Does it improve my well-being? If not, you have the power to reject it. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. Rather, it means not allowing them to control you. It's about taking a moment to say, "This is how I felt, but I choose not to hold on to it." Furthermore, transform how you interact with memories. Instead of replaying a regretful scenario over and over, try to view it through a lens of growth. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Whether it's resilience, compassion, or a newfound understanding of your limits, there's always something valuable to be gained. This shift in perspective turns a previously negative memory into a stepping stone for personal development. Lastly, engage in mindfulness and meditation, both key components of Stoic practice. These techniques ground you in the present and help dissolve the emotional weight of the past. Mindfulness teaches you to experience life as it happens and to appreciate the now without the shadow of yesterday. It's about noticing the world around you, your reactions, your feelings, and accepting them without judgment. To truly embrace the present and prepare for the future, it's essential to let go of what's behind you. Remember, every moment spent ruminating over the past is a moment lost from your present. So cut that baggage loose. Practice these Stoic principles to center yourself in the now, and you'll find that life becomes a lot lighter. The past doesn't have to define you. You're defined by how you live now, how you react now, and how you prepare for what's next. So, set down that old, heavy suitcase. Your journey ahead requires nothing from it. Have you ever found yourself saying, "I'll start tomorrow," but when tomorrow comes, you say it again? That loop, my friend, is one of life's trickiest ruts to escape. Procrastination isn't just about laziness or poor time management. It's about emotions battling against our intentions. It's the fear of failure, the dread of stepping out of comfort zones, or maybe even the fear of success that holds us back. But here's a thought inspired by Stoicism. What if we didn't wait for the perfect moment to act? What if we started embracing action as the path to clarity? The Stoics taught that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about the events. With procrastination, it's often our judgments about the task at hand that hold us back, thinking it's too difficult, too time-consuming, or maybe not worth the effort at all. But what if we could shift that perspective? What if we viewed each action as a necessary step toward virtue, toward becoming our best selves? To tackle procrastination, begin by breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This is a classic Stoic approach to overcoming overwhelming feelings. Just as Marcus Aurelius advised, the task of a philosopher, to piece together our natural constitution. Apply this to your goals. Want to write a book? Start by writing a page. Need to organize your home? Start with one drawer. The key is to make the first step so small that it isn't intimidating, almost trivial. Then there's the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, which involves visualizing the negative outcomes of not acting. Imagine the consequences if you continue to procrastinate. How might it affect your personal growth, your career, or even your relationships? This visualization isn't meant to scare you, but to inject a dose of reality into your planning process. It's about using foresight to fuel your motivation rather than your fears. Furthermore, Stoicism doesn't just ask you to contemplate the bad. It also encourages you to reflect on the benefits of taking action. Each small step you take is progress, and progress is invigorating and self-reinforcing. Once you start and see the benefits of your actions, it becomes easier to keep going. Remember, in the words of Seneca, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This approach transforms seemingly mundane tasks into vital parts of your daily life's philosophy. Moreover, consider the Stoic concept of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that remains impervious to externals and our emotional responses to them. When you feel overwhelmed by what you need to do, retreat into your inner citadel. From this place of strength, you can assess tasks with calmness and clarity, free from the paralyzing effects of overthinking and emotional turbulence. Finally, embrace the Stoic ethos of amor fati, love of fate. This doesn't mean being passive or resigning yourself to whatever happens. Rather, it's about loving what you do and doing what you love wholeheartedly. When you start to align your actions with your values, procrastination becomes less of an issue because you're no longer acting out of obligation, but out of genuine desire. So let's challenge ourselves to turn "I'll do it tomorrow" into "I'm doing it now." Because in each moment of action, you're not just ticking off a task, you're building a life. Each step, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. It's about making the most of the now, because now is all we truly have, and now is always the right time to begin. And there we have it. 4 monumental shifts that can truly transform the way you lead your life. It's all about stepping away from those old habits that no longer serve you and embracing new ways that propel you toward a more fulfilling, more purposeful existence. Whether it's silencing the whispers of self-doubt, stopping the endless comparisons to others, releasing the heavy chains of the past, or kicking procrastination to the curb, each step you take is a powerful act of self-liberation. I want you to think of today's discussion not just as a set of instructions, but as a conversation among friends striving for betterment. We're in this together, each of us working on becoming the best versions of ourselves, one day at a time. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So, when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience, from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you, and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-retrobe allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-retrobe is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-retrobe helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person. The journey to greatness begins with a single step. As we leave 2024 behind, it's time to ask ourselves, what can I do today to be the best version of myself tomorrow? As the final chapter of 2024 draws to a close, we stand at the threshold of a new dawn, beckoning us to embrace a moment of reflection and anticipation. Life's a bit like an uncharted journey, where each day offers a new chance to shape our destiny. The ancient Stoics, with their profound wisdom, understood this well. They weren't just philosophers lost in thought. They were realists, deeply connected with the rhythms of life. Imagine a quiet evening in late 2024. You're reflecting on the past year and pondering the future. It's not just about setting resolutions that might be forgotten. It's about embedding habits that will shape your life. So here are 10 habits crafted for the transition from 2024 to 2025. These aren't just ideas to ponder, they're actions to live by. And don't worry, we're not going to delve into complex jargon. This is advice for today, straightforward, practical, and directly applicable to your daily life. 1. Start small. George Washington, a man whose resolve shaped a nation, cherished the saying, "Many mickles make a muckle," a humble Scottish proverb. Yet it captures a profound truth. The grand is made up of the tiny. Similarly, Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, had it right when he said, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but it's no small thing." He understood that transformation doesn't happen in leaps, but in small, deliberate strides. Think of it like planting seeds. Each tiny seed has the potential to grow into something magnificent. So, how do we apply this? Let's say you aim to read more. Instead of setting an overwhelming goal, commit to a page a day. It's like building a mosaic. Each small piece adds to the grand picture. Remember, a walk begins with a single step, and a habit starts with a single action. James Clear's Atomic Habits echoes this sentiment beautifully. The essence of atomic habits isn't just in their explosive potential, but in their foundational nature. An atom, the smallest unit, holds immense power. Our smallest habits, similarly, are the building blocks of profound change. And here's a secret. It's not just about doing small things, but also thinking small. Avoid the trap of grand, unattainable promises. Instead, focus on what's right in front of you, the immediate, the achievable. As you string together these small victories, you'll find they lead to significant transformations. Remember, even the mightiest river starts as a trickle. So, as we step into 2025, let's embrace the power of starting small. After all, as Zeno would remind us, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. 2. Stop letting anxiety rule over you. There's a storm we all face, one that brews not in the sky but within us. Anxiety. It's a shadow that follows us, whispering about what could go wrong or what might happen. But here's a clear truth. You're not a puppet, and anxiety should not be the puppeteer. Marcus Aurelius, a man who helmed an empire, understood this. In his meditations, he wrote, "Today I escaped from anxiety, or no, I discarded it, because it was within me." That's a powerful realization. The turbulence isn't in the plane or the airport. It's in us. Now, how do we break free from this invisible chain? First, own your feelings. Recognize that anxiety is a product of your thoughts, not the world around you. It's like a fog clouding your vision, making mountains out of molehills. The key is to clear that fog, to see the world as it is, not as your fears paint it. Second, practice mindfulness. Take a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, is this worry a product of what's happening or what I fear might happen? More often than not, you'll find it's the latter. Finally, let's debunk a myth. Anxiety is not a preemptive solution to potential problems. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It doesn't prepare you, it paralyzes you. It's like sitting in a rocking chair. There's a lot of movement, but you're going nowhere. So as we transition into the new year, let's pledge to unshackle ourselves from the chains of anxiety. Let's approach life with a clear mind and a steady heart. As Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Remember, the only storm you need to weather is the one inside you. 3. Create a routine. Imagine your day as a blank canvas. Without a plan, it's just a space waiting to be filled haphazardly. But with a routine, it's a masterpiece in the making. The power of a routine lies not in rigidity, but in providing a framework to channel your energy effectively. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher whose wisdom has traversed centuries, once said, "Life without a design is erratic." He knew that a well-structured day is a well-spent day. So how do you craft this routine? It's not about copying someone else's schedule. It's about creating one that resonates with you. Start by identifying your most productive time of the day. Are you a morning person, like me, who thrives in the quiet hours of dawn? Or does your energy peak as the day unfolds? Tailor your routine around this natural rhythm. Dedicate your prime hours to your most important tasks, the ones that require your full attention and creativity. For me, it's about owning the morning, not letting it own me. I start with activities that set a positive tone for the day. A walk, a moment of reflection, or tackling a creative project before the world wakes up. But remember, routine isn't just about work. It's about balance. Integrate habits that nourish your mind, body, and soul. Maybe it's reading, exercising, or spending quality time with loved ones. And crucially, stick to your routine. Consistency is the glue that holds it all together. As you build this routine, you'll find that it becomes a foundation for good habits to grow. After all, as Seneca reminds us, principles are necessary. And what's a routine if not a principle you live by every day? Embrace the structure and watch as uncertain chaos transforms into a symphony of productivity and peace. 4. Give yourself the order to stop. There's a story that echoes through time, not of a battle or a conquest, but of a personal victory. Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man whose decisions shaped history, faced a formidable foe: his 4-pack-a-day smoking habit. His doctor's words were a clarion call: quit or face dire consequences. Eisenhower's response: he gave himself an order to stop, and just like that, he quit cold turkey after 40 years. This is a testament to a profound principle. No man is free who is not master of himself, as Epictetus once said. This tale isn't just about overcoming a smoking habit. It's about conquering any vice that holds you captive. We all have our battles, be it with unhealthy habits, procrastination, or negative thinking. The key to victory lies in giving yourself the order to stop. It's about asserting control over your impulses, rather than letting them control you. Seneca, another Stoic sage, observed, "We are all slaves to something, but the beauty of Stoicism lies in recognizing that we hold the keys to our own chains." So how do you apply this to your life? Identify that one thing. Maybe it's that extra cup of coffee, endless scrolling on social media, or any habit that's more of a hindrance than a help. Acknowledge its impact on your life. Then make a firm, unequivocal decision to stop. It's not about gradual change. It's about a definitive, deliberate action. When you give yourself the order to stop, you're not just breaking a habit, you're reclaiming your freedom. As you step into 2025, carry this empowering message. You are the commander of your destiny, and the first command is to master yourself. 5. Free up precious resources. Time, the most valuable resource we have, is often squandered on trivialities. We claim to be starved of time, yet a glance at our screen time reveals the truth. It's not about having more time, it's about using the time we have wisely. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's essential. Epictetus, a philosopher known for his practical wisdom, said, "If you wish to improve, be willing to appear clueless or stupid about some things." This is about making a conscious choice to not get sucked into the vortex of non-essentials, be it doom scrolling, excessive news consumption, or other digital distractions. The strategy here is twofold: awareness and action. First, become acutely aware of where your time goes. Track your activities for a day or a week. You'll likely be surprised at how much time is spent on activities that add little value to your life. This awareness is the first step toward change. Next, take decisive action. Start by reducing the time spent on these distractions. Set limits on your app usage. Designate specific times for news consumption, and avoid aimlessly browsing the internet. This isn't about cutting off from the world, but about choosing not to drown in it. As you reclaim your time, you'll find you have more of it for things that truly matter. Pursuing your goals, nurturing relationships, and fostering personal growth. This habit isn't just about time management, it's about life management. It's about ensuring that the precious hours of your day are spent on pursuits that enrich your life, not deplete it. As we transition into 2025, let's remind ourselves of Epictetus's words and focus our energy and time on what truly contributes to our well-being and growth. Remember, every minute spent on something meaningless is a minute taken away from something meaningful. 6. Do something difficult. At the dawn of each new year, Seneca, a Stoic heavyweight, didn't just make resolutions. He made a statement. He plunged into the icy waters of the Tiber River. It wasn't for a swim. It was a declaration of mastery over himself. He was saying loud and clear, "I'm in charge." This act wasn't about the chill of the water. It was about the fire it kindled within, a fire of self-assertion and resilience. It's a vivid reminder that sometimes doing something difficult can be the most empowering act. So how do we bring this lesson into our lives? It starts with stepping out of our comfort zone. Choose something that challenges you, something that makes you a bit uneasy. It could be anything. Waking up an hour earlier, taking a cold shower, speaking up in a meeting, or even learning a new skill. The task itself isn't as important as the act of pushing your boundaries. It's in these moments of discomfort that we grow the most. It's where we discover what we are truly capable of. The essence of this practice lies not in the difficulty itself, but in the assertion of your will over your instincts. It's a testament to your inner strength, a demonstration that you are more than your fears and hesitations. As you embark on this journey of doing something difficult, remember Seneca's unspoken message. I control my actions, my reactions, and my mind. Let 2025 be the year you embrace challenge, where you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. After all, in the face of challenges, we don't just survive, we thrive. 7. Associate with people who make you better. The company we keep molds us more than we often realize. It's like walking through a forest. The paths you choose determine where you end up. This idea isn't new. The Stoics understood the power of association. Seneca, through his letters, demonstrated the value of surrounding oneself with people who inspire growth and wisdom. He once wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." This isn't just about choosing friends. It's about choosing influences that shape your character and your life. So how do you apply this in today's world? Start by taking a close look at your circle. Who are the people you spend the most time with? Do they embody the qualities you admire and aspire to? It's not about finding perfect people. It's about finding those who challenge you, support your growth, and share your values. It's like planting yourself in fertile soil, where the environment is conducive to growth. Remember, if you dwell with those who limp, you'll learn to limp too. This isn't just about avoiding negative influences. It's also about actively seeking positive ones. Create your own circle, be it a book club, a discussion group, or just a set of friends committed to personal growth. Engage in activities that enrich your mind and soul. Discuss ideas, debate philosophically, and challenge each other. As Seneca said, "We learn as we teach." By surrounding yourself with people who push you to be better, you'll find that you don't just rise to the occasion, you rise above it. Let 2025 be the year you cultivate your garden of influences, ensuring that every person in it adds value to your life's journey. 8. Stop fearing change. Embracing change is like learning to ride the waves. Resist, and you'll be toppled over. Adapt, and you'll be carried forward. Marcus Aurelius, in his reflective meditations, mused on the nature of change. He understood that life's rhythm is a constant ebb and flow of transformation. By fearing change, we close ourselves off to the myriad possibilities and opportunities it brings. It's not just about accepting change, it's about welcoming it with open arms. To incorporate this into your life, start by shifting your perspective. View change not as a threat, but as an inevitable and exciting part of life. It's a chance for growth, learning, and new experiences. This year, challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Try something new, be it a hobby, a career move, or even a new way of thinking. It's in these moments of uncertainty and novelty that we often find our most profound growth and satisfaction. Moreover, develop a mindset of adaptability. Like a tree that bends in the wind but doesn't break, learn to be flexible in the face of change. Adaptability doesn't mean being passive. It's about actively finding ways to thrive in new circumstances. As you navigate the changing landscapes of life, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Let 2025 be the year where you ride the waves of change with skill and grace, turning every new challenge into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. As you navigate the changing landscapes of life, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Let 2025 be the year where you ride the waves of change with skill and grace, turning every new challenge into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. 9. Say no to the inessential. In a world brimming with choices and distractions, the art of saying no becomes a superpower. Marcus Aurelius, a man who juggled the complexities of ruling an empire, recognized the power in discernment. He wisely noted that much of what we do isn't essential. By saying no to the inessential, we don't just free up time, we amplify our ability to focus on what truly matters. It's about making room for the essential by clearing out the clutter. To adopt this in your life, start by evaluating your commitments. Are they aligning with your values and goals? It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of busy work that contributes little to our overall purpose. Practice the art of saying no to these distractions. This doesn't mean becoming aloof or unhelpful. It's about setting boundaries that enable you to dedicate your energy to pursuits that are genuinely meaningful. Remember, every time you say yes to something insignificant, you're indirectly saying no to something important. Flip this equation. Make your yeses count. Give an emphatic, wholehearted yes to activities that enrich your life, whether it's personal development, relationships, or your passions. This selective yes is not just a response, it's a commitment to excellence in what truly matters. As you move into the new year, let your yes be reserved for what brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. Echoing Aurelius's wisdom, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Allow 2025 to be the year where you refine the delicate and impactful skill of declining the non-essential, thereby charting a path toward a life rich in focus, purpose, and deep satisfaction. 10. Come back to rhythm. Embracing our humanity includes accepting our imperfections and missteps. Marcus Aurelius, a leader who navigated the complexities of life and empire, knew well the inevitability of faltering. He once reflected on the importance of not just getting up when we fall, but also recognizing the beauty in our humanity that allows us to do so. It's a call to understand that stumbling is part of our journey, not a deviation from it. In practical terms, this means adopting a mindset of resilience and forgiveness. When you slip up on your diet, miss a workout, or falter in your resolutions, don't view it as a failure. Instead, see it as an integral part of the process of growth. The key is in how you respond to these setbacks. Do you berate yourself, or do you acknowledge the slip and gently steer yourself back on track? Embrace the latter approach. It's about creating a habit of self-compassion and persistence. Each time you return to your path, you reinforce the habit of resilience. Celebrate your capacity to return to your rhythm, no matter how many times you might lose it. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress and the continuous journey back to what matters. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. As we stride forward into 2025, let's carry with us the essence of these practices, not just as concepts, but as daily actions that mold our lives. Remember, the journey towards self-discipline, resilience, and serenity isn't just about understanding Stoicism. It's about living it. Each day offers a new canvas, and your actions are the brushstrokes that paint your life's portrait. So start today. Pick a practice. Maybe it's a moment of morning reflection or an act of kindness, and see how it transforms your world. Your feedback and stories of transformation are the fuel that keeps this journey vibrant and evolving. Together, let's explore this path of continual growth and share our experiences, shaping not just our own lives, but also inspiring those around us. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom, and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn, and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that, barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn? This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean, and why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom: "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. Now, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, finding the balance between excess and efficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive, boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to one's self, not one shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness, being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we are all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear. These can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world. One act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. This is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody? Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. In modern psychology, the benefits of regular reflection are well documented, showing improvements in mental health, clarity of purpose, and personal growth. Reflecting on our experiences helps us process emotions, learn from our actions, and make more informed decisions moving forward. Let's commit to this practice of reflecting and reviewing regularly. Let it be our guidepost, ensuring that we are not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it according to our values. By taking the time to look back, we gain the insight needed to move forward more aligned, more aware, and more in tune with the essence of who we are and who we aspire to be. Our greatest power lies in the ability to choose our response to life's challenges. Picture this. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, faced with unending turmoil, found peace not in control, but in acceptance. He taught that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. This ancient wisdom of Stoicism isn't just historical trivia. It's a transformative tool we can all use today. In this video, we'll uncover the art of letting things happen, exploring how embracing the flow of life rather than forcing outcomes can lead to profound peace and fulfillment. Get ready to dive into the timeless teachings of Stoicism and discover how to navigate life's unpredictability with grace and strength. If you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Don't skip any part of the video, as this journey towards inner calm and resilience might just change your life. In Stoicism, there's a strong emphasis on distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. This starts with our thoughts. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our minds. By focusing on our thoughts, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and composure. It's like building a mental armor that shields us from unnecessary worries and negative influences. When we understand this, we can start to see our thoughts not just as fleeting moments in our minds, but as powerful tools that shape our reality. Consider the impact of a single negative thought. It can spiral into a cascade of negativity, affecting our mood, our behavior, and even our health. On the other hand, a positive thought can inspire us, motivate us, and lead to actions that improve our lives and the lives of those around us. The Stoics were masters of this mental discipline. They practiced techniques like reflection and journaling to keep their thoughts in check. For example, the evening reflection was a common practice where they would spend time at the end of each day contemplating their thoughts and actions, identifying what went well and what could be improved. This practice allowed them to maintain a clear and focused mind, ready to face the next day with renewed strength. Moreover, the Stoics taught us that thoughts are not just abstract concepts, but tangible forces that can direct the course of our lives. By becoming aware of our thoughts and consciously guiding them, we can transform our experiences. This is not about suppressing negative thoughts, but rather about understanding them, challenging them, and ultimately transforming them into positive actions. It's a skill that takes practice, but can lead to profound changes in how we perceive and interact with the world. To put it into perspective, imagine two people facing the same challenging situation. One person is consumed by negative thoughts, believing that nothing they do will make a difference. They feel paralyzed and defeated. The other person, guided by positive thoughts, sees the challenge as an opportunity for growth. They think about past successes and believe in their ability to overcome the obstacle. This person is more likely to take proactive steps and ultimately succeed. The difference lies in their thoughts. Realizing the importance of thought is about recognizing that our inner dialogue shapes our reality. It's about taking control of our mental landscape and cultivating thoughts that lead to positive actions and outcomes. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics have shown us, this is a path to true happiness and fulfillment. So, start today by paying attention to your thoughts. Challenge the negative ones and nurture the positive ones. This simple yet profound shift can transform your life in ways you never imagined. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic, provides invaluable insights on this. He advises, "Here is a rule to remember in future. When anything tempts you to feel bitter, not, 'This is misfortune,' but, 'To bear this worthily is good fortune.'" This quote encapsulates the Stoic approach to transforming thoughts. changing our perspective on challenges and adversity. At its core, transforming your thoughts involves recognizing that our spontaneous thoughts often come with value judgments that can be misleading and harmful. These judgments are immediate and automatic, labeling experiences as good or bad, fun or boring, successful or failing. The problem is that these judgments are rarely based on the full picture and are often clouded by our emotions and biases. The Stoics teach us that our thoughts are not shaped by reality, but by our perception of it. By changing our perception, we can change our thoughts and consequently our lives. Consider how often we let a single negative thought shape our entire day. If you wake up and immediately think, "Today is going to be awful," that thought sets the tone for everything that follows. It colors your interactions, your decisions, and your overall mood. But what if you could catch that thought and transform it? Instead of, "Today is going to be awful," you could think, "Today might have challenges, but I can handle them." This simple shift can change your entire outlook and experience of the day. One of the Stoic practices for transforming thoughts is to question and challenge them. When you have a negative thought, don't just accept it as true. Reflect on it. Ask yourself if the thought is reasonable, if it is based on facts, or if it is influenced by temporary emotions. For example, after a tough meeting at work, you might think, "I'm terrible at my job." But is that thought reasonable? Was it just one difficult meeting out of many successful ones? Are you letting one experience overshadow your overall competence and achievements? Another powerful Stoic technique is reframing. Reframing involves taking a negative thought and finding a more constructive way to look at it. For instance, if you think, "I failed, and there's no point in trying again," you can reframe it to, "Failure is an opportunity to learn and improve. I can try again with more wisdom." This technique helps you see setbacks as part of the growth process rather than as final judgments on your abilities. The practice of gratitude also plays a significant role in transforming thoughts. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, from negative aspects to positive ones. When you start feeling overwhelmed by negative thoughts, take a moment to list things you're grateful for. This practice can instantly change your mood and perspective, helping you see the abundance and opportunities in your life rather than the challenges and deficiencies. Furthermore, Stoics emphasize the importance of living in accordance with nature and understanding our role within the larger context of the world. This broader perspective can help transform our thoughts by reminding us that we are part of something greater and that our individual experiences, while significant, are just one piece of the larger puzzle. It encourages us to accept what we cannot change and focus on what we can control, our thoughts and action. In practical terms, transforming your thoughts might also involve regular journaling, a practice that many Stoics, including Marcus Aurelius, engaged in. Writing down your thoughts allows you to examine them objectively, understand their origins, and decide how you want to address them. It's a way to declutter your mind and gain clarity. Learning to transform your thoughts is about recognizing the power of perception, questioning and reframing negative thoughts, practicing gratitude, and understanding your place in the larger scheme of things. By adopting these Stoic principles, you can cultivate a mindset that not only endures, but thrives in the face of life's challenges. This shift in thinking is not just a mental exercise, but a profound way to reshape your entire approach to life, leading to greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. The term premeditatio malorum translates to premeditation of evils or anticipation of adversity, and it was a technique regularly employed by Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics to foster resilience and mental fortitude. Imagine starting each day by acknowledging that things might not go as planned. Marcus Aurelius would wake up and remind himself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." This might sound pessimistic, but it served a crucial purpose. It prepared him mentally for the inevitable frustrations and challenges of daily life. By expecting difficulties, he could approach them with calmness and equanimity when they arose, rather than being caught off guard. The idea behind premeditatio malorum is not to dwell on negative outcomes, but to mentally rehearse how you would handle them. This practice builds psychological resilience. When we visualize potential setbacks and plan our responses, we reduce the shock and emotional impact when those setbacks occur. It's similar to how athletes visualize their performance before a game. They prepare for various scenarios, which enhances their actual performance. Consider a simple analogy. Think of premeditatio malorum as a mental fire drill. Just as practicing a fire drill prepares you to act swiftly and calmly in an actual emergency, mentally rehearsing how you would handle difficulties prepares you to face real-life challenges with greater composure and effectiveness. It's about building a mental muscle that allows you to remain steady and focused under pressure. This technique is deeply rooted in the Stoic understanding of what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions to them. By anticipating potential problems and deciding in advance how to respond, we take proactive control over our emotional and mental states. This aligns with the Stoic goal of achieving a tranquil mind, undisturbed by external chaos. Premeditatio malorum can be applied to various aspects of life. For instance, before a significant meeting or presentation, you might consider the possible challenges. What if the technology fails? What if you forget your main points? By thinking through these scenarios and planning your responses, you can approach the event with greater confidence and less anxiety. You've already faced these challenges in your mind, so they're less intimidating in reality. Moreover, this practice can enhance our gratitude. When we contemplate potential misfortunes, we often realize how much we take for granted. This reflection can deepen our appreciation for what we have and foster a greater sense of gratitude for the present moment. It shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what is currently going right, balancing our perspective. A practical way to incorporate premeditatio malorum into your daily routine is through journaling. Spend a few minutes each morning writing down potential challenges you might face that day and how you would ideally respond to them. This simple exercise can set a tone of preparedness and calmness for the rest of the day. Additionally, it's beneficial to periodically reflect on past adversities and how you handled them. This reflection can reveal patterns in your responses, highlight areas for improvement, and reinforce your resilience. By recognizing that you have successfully navigated challenges before, you build confidence in your ability to handle future difficulties. Practicing premeditatio malorum is about embracing the reality that life is unpredictable and often challenging. By mentally preparing for these challenges, we can face them with greater strength and serenity. This Stoic practice helps us build resilience, maintain control over our emotional responses, and foster a deeper appreciation for the present. It's a powerful tool for anyone looking to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and wisdom. So, the next time you anticipate a tough day, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and prepare your mind for the journey ahead. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this when he said, "Give yourself a gift, the present moment." This statement is a call to embrace the here and now, to fully immerse ourselves in the current moment, free from the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future. The Stoics believe that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. Dwelling too much on either robs us of the peace and clarity that come from being fully engaged with the present. When we focus on the present, we can better appreciate the world around us, the people we interact with, and the tasks we undertake. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the here and now, rather than postponing happiness for some uncertain future. Consider the way we often get lost in our thoughts about what has already happened or what might happen. We replay past mistakes or anticipate future problems, and this mental chatter keeps us from truly experiencing life. For example, how often have you been in a conversation but found yourself thinking about what you need to do later or regretting something you said earlier? This robs you of the ability to connect genuinely with the person in front of you and to fully appreciate the interaction. Living in the present also means letting go of the need to control everything. The Stoics taught that we should accept what is outside our control and focus on what we can influence, our own thoughts and actions. This acceptance can be incredibly liberating. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, we reduce our stress and anxiety. allowing ourselves to be more at peace with whatever comes our way. It's about finding serenity in the midst of chaos by anchoring ourselves in the present moment. One practical way to live in the present is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your attention to the present moment without judgment. This can be done through simple exercises like focusing on your breath, observing your surroundings, or engaging in a task with full attention. By practicing mindfulness, we train our minds to return to the present whenever they start to wander. This can greatly enhance our ability to stay focused and calm, even in stressful situations. The practice of mindfulness has been shown to have numerous benefits, including reduced stress, improved emotional regulation, and increased overall well-being. When we are mindful, we are better able to handle life's challenges with grace and resilience. We become more attuned to our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to respond rather than react impulsively. Another way to cultivate living in the present is through gratitude. Taking time each day to reflect on what we are grateful for helps shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. This practice can bring a sense of abundance and contentment. When we appreciate the small moments of joy and beauty in our daily lives, we anchor ourselves more firmly in the present. Moreover, living in the present encourages us to fully engage with our activities, no matter how mundane they may seem. The Stoics believed in doing every task, no matter how small, with excellence and attention. This means being fully present in whatever you are doing, whether it's washing the dishes, working on a project, or spending time with loved ones. By giving our full attention to our current activity, we can find satisfaction and purpose in every moment. It's also important to recognize the impact of technology on our ability to live in the present. Our constant connectivity can pull us out of the moment as we check emails, social media, and messages. Setting boundaries with technology and creating moments of disconnection can help us reclaim our presence. This might mean having device-free times, such as during meals or before bed, to fully engage with our surroundings and the people we are with. Living in the present is about embracing the here and now, letting go of past regrets and future anxieties, and focusing on what we can control, our thoughts and actions. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and fully engaging with our activities, we can cultivate a deeper sense of peace, fulfillment, and resilience. As Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics have shown us, the present moment is a precious gift, and learning to live in it can transform our lives. Marcus Aurelius, despite his responsibilities as a Roman emperor, took time each day to reflect on the simple privilege of being alive. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This profound sense of gratitude is not just about acknowledging the good things in life, but about fostering a deeper appreciation for every moment and experience. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, creating a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind and overlook the small joys and blessings that surround us. By consciously practicing gratitude, we train our minds to see the positives, even in challenging situations. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but rather recognizing that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the midst of adversity. One effective way to practice gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be anything from significant achievements to small everyday pleasures, like a beautiful sunset or a kind gesture from a friend. This simple exercise helps to build a habit of looking for the good in each day, reinforcing a positive outlook and fostering a sense of contentment. Expressing gratitude to others is another powerful practice. Take the time to thank the people around you, your family, friends, colleagues, even strangers who have shown you kindness. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also reinforces your awareness of the interconnectedness of your life with others. Gratitude has a ripple effect. When we express it, we often inspire others to do the same, creating a more positive and supportive environment. In the context of Stoicism, gratitude also involves accepting and appreciating the present moment as it is, without longing for what is not. This is encapsulated in the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate. It's about embracing all aspects of life, including the challenges and setbacks, as part of our journey. By viewing everything that happens to us as an opportunity for growth and learning, we can cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the entirety of our experience. Gratitude can also be a powerful antidote to negative emotions like envy and resentment. When we focus on what we have and appreciate it fully, we are less likely to feel envious of others. Envy arises from a sense of lack, but gratitude reminds us of our abundance. Similarly, resentment often stems from unmet expectations and perceived injustices. Practicing gratitude shifts our perspective, helping us to let go of these negative feelings and embrace a more positive and forgiving outlook. Moreover, gratitude has numerous psychological and physical benefits. Research has shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience better sleep, lower stress levels, and improved mental health. Gratitude enhances our overall well-being by promoting a positive mindset and reducing the impact of negative emotions. It helps us build resilience, enabling us to bounce back from setbacks more effectively. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine doesn't require drastic changes. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each morning to reflect on what you are thankful for, or ending your day with a gratitude meditation. This practice aligns with the Stoic tradition of reflection and mindfulness, encouraging us to live with intention and awareness. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to enrich our lives and align with the principles of Stoicism. By focusing on what we have, expressing appreciation to others, and embracing all aspects of our experiences, we can cultivate a mindset of abundance and contentment. Gratitude helps us navigate life's challenges with grace, build stronger relationships, and enhance our overall well-being. Have you ever felt like you're the one holding yourself back? You set a goal, make a plan, and for a while you truly believe this time will be different. But then life throws you off course. A distraction here, a temptation there, and before you know it, you're back where you started, wondering if you will ever get the hang of discipline. That frustration is real, and you're not alone in feeling it. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't about being perfect or pushing yourself to the limit every day. It's about understanding yourself, your strengths, your fears, and your habits, and aligning them with what truly matters to you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoics believed that true discipline isn't a burden. It's a form of freedom. It gives you the ability to act with purpose, no matter what chaos is happening around you. Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the 9 Stoic secrets that can change how you think about discipline. These timeless principles have helped warriors, philosophers, and leaders for centuries. They're not quick tricks or fleeting trends. They're enduring lessons designed to help you build a strong, steady foundation from within. Let's dive in. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on more powerful insights like this. Let's begin. Number 1. Master the art of delayed gratification. The hardest battles are the ones no one sees. They happen in your mind. In the moments when you're faced with a choice, chase instant pleasure or hold out for something greater. It's tempting to take the easy route, to scroll on your phone instead of working on your goals, to eat the junk food instead of cooking a meal, or to spend money now instead of saving for the future. These small decisions may feel harmless in the moment, but over time, they add up. They either build you into someone strong and disciplined, or keep you stuck in the same frustrating cycle. The Stoics believed that resisting immediate gratification wasn't just an exercise in self-control, it was a path to ataraxia, or inner calm. When you stop chasing fleeting pleasures, you free yourself from their hold. You stop letting external desires dictate your actions, and you gain the mental strength to prioritize what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't about deprivation or denying yourself joy. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. Think of discipline like planting a tree. When you plant the seed, there's no immediate reward. The soil looks the same, the seed is hidden, and nothing seems to change. But day by day, as you water it and tend to it, the roots grow stronger. Eventually, the tree breaks through the soil, and over time it flourishes into something remarkable. Delayed gratification works the same way. If you may not see the results right away, but every choice to delay pleasure is like watering the seed of your future success. Practicing delayed gratification doesn't mean you have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Try introducing micro delays into your daily routine. For example, the next time you crave a snack, wait 5 minutes before indulging. If you feel the urge to check your phone during work, finish one task first. These small acts of resistance may seem insignificant, but they train your mind to pause, reflect, and prioritize what's important. Over time, this practice becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a lifestyle. You start to realize that the momentary discomfort of waiting is far outweighed by the satisfaction of achieving something meaningful. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing you can endure temporary sacrifices for long-term growth. Discipline isn't about never giving yourself a break or denying joy. It's about learning to wait for what truly matters. It's about understanding that the best things in life often take time to grow. Mastering the art of delayed gratification is hard, but the rewards, they last a lifetime. Number 2, understand the why. Why do you want to be disciplined? That's the question most people skip when they decide to get their life together. They jump straight to the how, creating routines, downloading productivity apps, or reading the latest self-help book. But without understanding the why, discipline becomes aimless. It turns into a grueling, unsustainable grind that fizzles out as soon as motivation wears off. The truth is, you can't build discipline around nothing. You need a purpose, a reason to keep showing up when the excitement fades. The Stoics called this telos, or your ultimate purpose. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit down to write meditations because it was trendy or because someone told him to. He did it because he believed in living according to his values: courage, wisdom, self-control, and justice. For him, discipline wasn't about checking boxes. It was about becoming the kind of person who could withstand life's storms with grace and strength. Without that deeper connection to purpose, discipline feels hollow, like steering a ship in circles because you don't know where you're going. Think of that ship for a moment. Out on the open ocean, the waves are relentless, the wind unpredictable. A captain without a clear destination would be lost, burning precious time and resources with no end in sight. Now, think of your life. If you don't know where you're heading, what truly matters to you, how can you expect to stay disciplined when the waters get rough? This is why understanding your why is the foundation of extreme discipline. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful, or I need to lose weight. Those are surface-level goals. Dig deeper. Ask yourself, what does success really mean to me? Why does it matter? Maybe it's about providing security for your family or proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Maybe it's about honoring your health so you can live longer and be there for the people you love. Whatever it is, it needs to resonate deeply. It needs to matter to you more than the discomfort of staying disciplined. I'd like you to try this simple but powerful exercise to get started. Grab a notebook and write down your core values. What principles guide you? What kind of person do you want to be? Then, list your long-term goals. Be specific. Instead of get in shape, write, run a 10K by the end of the year because it will make me stronger and healthier. Instead of save money, try build an emergency fund to create stability and reduce stress for my family. The more clarity you have, the easier it becomes to align your actions with your purpose. Discipline without purpose is exhausting, but discipline fueled by a clear why, that's unstoppable. When you know what you're working toward and why it matters, every step, even the hard ones, becomes meaningful. That's where the real power lies. Number 3, Build small, consistent habits. Discipline isn't about making one dramatic change. It's not a giant leap or an overnight transformation. Real discipline is built through small, steady steps. Actions so simple, they almost feel insignificant at first. But over time, those small actions compound, shaping who you are in ways you can't see right away. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus reminded us to focus on what's within our power, not on chasing perfection. He said, "Progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily." The point isn't to be flawless, it's to keep moving forward, one deliberate choice at a time. Trying to overhaul your entire life in a single moment is overwhelming and unsustainable. But starting small, that's achievable. That's sustainable. Let's take a single drop of water hitting a rock. On its own, it seems like nothing. A drop is too small, too soft to make any difference. But over time, those drops wear the rock down, carving it into something new. Habits work the same way. Each small action, each drop, might seem trivial in the moment, but they build momentum and create change. The key is consistency. Start with one habit. Just one. Make it so simple that it's almost impossible to fail. For example, if you want to write every day, commit to journaling for 2 minutes. Not an hour, not even 15 minutes, just 2. If your goal is to exercise, begin with 5 push-ups or a short walk around the block. The goal is not to do something monumental. It's to prove to yourself that you can show up. Once that habit feels natural, build on it. 2 minutes of journaling might turn into 5, then 10. A walk around the block might lead to running a mile. This is how discipline grows, not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent actions that align with your values. And on the days when it feels like your efforts aren't making a difference, remind yourself of the water and the rock. Change is happening, even if you can't see it yet. The Stoics didn't chase perfection, and neither should you. Instead, focus on progress, on doing what's within your power today, no matter how small it seems. Each habit you build is a step toward the person you want to become. And when you string enough of those steps together, you realize just how far you've come. That's the quiet, steady power of discipline. Number 4, embrace discomfort. Discipline doesn't grow in comfort. It thrives in the moments when you willingly step into the hard, the uncertain, and the uncomfortable. We've been conditioned to seek ease, air conditioning on hot days, instant food when we're hungry, distractions at the first sign of boredom. But the truth is that the more you avoid discomfort, the weaker your resilience becomes. And resilience is the backbone of discipline. The Stoics understood this better than most. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, often practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare his mind and body for life's inevitable challenges. He would eat simple meals, wear rough clothing, and expose himself to situations far beneath his wealth and status. Why? Because he believed that when you can willingly endure discomfort, you gain control over your fears. You realize that the things you dread aren't as terrible as they seem, and that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think of life as a blacksmith's forge. A piece of raw metal isn't strong or useful on its own. It has to be heated, hammered, and shaped to become a blade that can cut through anything. The same goes for you. Each time you step into discomfort, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, you're refining yourself. You're building a stronger, sharper version of who you are. But embracing discomfort doesn't mean you have to throw yourself into extreme challenges overnight. Start small and let it build. Take a cold shower for a minute every morning. Push yourself to speak up in a meeting where you'd normally stay silent. Commit to finishing that one task you've been avoiding, even if it feels overwhelming. Each act of discomfort is like striking the forge, slowly shaping you into something stronger. And here is the beauty of this practice. Discomfort loses its power over you. What once felt unbearable becomes routine. The cold shower that shocked your body on day 1 becomes refreshing by day 10. The fear of failure that kept you from trying fades when you realize you're still standing after a setback. Every step into discomfort proves that you are capable of more than you thought. Number 5. Control your environment. Discipline isn't just about willpower, it's about strategy. If you rely solely on mental strength to resist every temptation, you'll eventually burn out. The smarter approach? Shape your environment so that it works for you, not against you. When your surroundings align with your goals, discipline becomes less of a battle and more of a natural flow. The Stoics emphasized the importance of minimizing external chaos to maintain inner tranquility. Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This wasn't just about ignoring criticism, but about stripping away distractions and unnecessary influences that pull you away from what matters. In today's world, distractions come in endless forms: cluttered spaces, constant notifications, and social media feeds designed to steal your attention. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're barriers to focus, discipline, and peace of mind. Take a look at your physical environment. Is your desk piled with papers and random items that distract you? A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. By tidying up and organizing your surroundings, you're not just making things look nicer. You're creating a space where discipline can thrive. The same goes for your digital world. Notifications, endless scrolling, and an overflowing inbox are modern distractions that drain your energy. The digital detox, turning off notifications, setting app limits, or dedicating tech-free hours, can restore your focus and help you regain control. Think of your environment as a foundation for success. You wouldn't plant a garden in rocky, nutrient-deprived soil and expect it to flourish. The same applies to discipline. You need to create conditions where it can grow. That might mean decluttering your workspace, setting up a designated area for focused work, or even rearranging your living space to reflect your goals. Small changes, like keeping your phone in another room during work hours or prepping your gym clothes the night before, can have a massive impact on your ability to stay disciplined. It's also about setting boundaries. If your environment includes people or situations that constantly derail your focus, it's time to reassess. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but rather being intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth, and set firm limits with those who don't. You can't always control the chaos of the world, but you can control what you invite into your personal environment. By decluttering, limiting distractions, and setting clear boundaries, you make discipline less of a struggle and more of a habit. As the Stoics taught, tranquility begins within, but it's nurtured by what you choose to surround yourself with. Number 6. Detach from outcomes. True discipline isn't about what you achieve. It's about the act of showing up again and again, regardless of the results. In a world that constantly measures success by external milestones like hitting a fitness goal, landing a promotion, or gaining recognition, it's easy to tie your efforts to outcomes. But when you focus solely on results, you hand over your peace of mind to things outside your control. And when those results don't come as quickly as you hoped, frustration, doubt, and burnout take over. The Stoics had a better way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For the Stoics, the process mattered far more than the result. You can't always control the outcome of your efforts, but you can control the effort itself. Did you put in the work? Did you stay consistent? That's where your focus should be. Discipline isn't a guarantee of success. It's a commitment to the process, regardless of what happens next. Think about modern challenges like fitness or career growth. It's easy to obsess over the number on a scale or the size of your paycheck. But those outcomes are often influenced by factors you can't predict: genetics, market conditions, timing. If you measure your discipline by these external markers, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, shift your attention to the process. Did you stick to your workout plan? Did you give your best effort at work today? These are the questions that truly matter, because they keep the focus on what you can control. You can start by tracking your effort instead of your outcomes. If you're working toward a fitness goal, create a habit tracker where you check off each day you complete your workout or meal prep. Don't worry about the scale. Worry about whether you showed up. If you're chasing a career goal, keep a journal of the steps you're taking, the calls you made, the skills you learned, the hours you put in. Celebrate the process, not just the results. When you detach from outcomes, you free yourself from the constant pressure to perform. You stop seeing setbacks as failures and start viewing them as part of the journey. Every step you take becomes valuable, not because of where it leads, but because of what it builds within you: resilience, consistency, and strength. The world may tell you that success is measured by what you achieve, but the Stoics knew better. Success is measured by how you live, by the choices you make, the effort you give, and the discipline you build along the way. Let go of the outcomes. Focus on the process. That's where the real growth happens. Number 7. Reflect and reset daily. Discipline isn't something you set and forget. It's a daily commitment, refined and strengthened through reflection. Without taking time to pause and look inward, your actions can become mechanical, disconnected from your purpose. True discipline comes from understanding yourself, your progress, your setbacks, and the lessons each day brings. The simplest way to do that is through daily reflection. The Stoics were masters of this practice. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most disciplined leaders, documented his reflections in meditations. These writings weren't for anyone else, they were for himself, a way to evaluate his actions, realign with his principles, and prepare for the challenges ahead. He didn't dwell on his mistakes or pat himself on the back for his successes. Instead, he used journaling as a tool to deepen his self-awareness and stay grounded in his values. Reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about looking forward. By taking a few minutes each day to review your choices, you build a clearer picture of where you're excelling and where you need to improve. Over time, this practice sharpens your self-awareness, helping you identify patterns and make adjustments. It's like checking your compass on a long journey. Even if you veered off course, a quick recalibration ensures you're heading in the right direction. Start small with your daily reflection. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day to sit with your thoughts or write them down. If you're unsure where to begin, use simple prompts. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What challenges did I face, and how did I respond? What can I improve tomorrow? This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Maybe you stayed focused on your goals today, or maybe distractions got the better of you. Both outcomes are valuable if you learn from them. The act of reflecting allows you to reset with intention and avoid carrying unnecessary baggage into the next day. Discipline isn't just about doing, it's about understanding why you're doing it. Reflection connects your daily actions to your deeper purpose. It reminds you of your values and keeps you aligned with them, even when life gets chaotic and when you stumble, and you will, because discipline isn't flawless. Reflection gives you the clarity to get back on track, without guilt or self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius showed us, reflection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's where discipline is renewed and strengthened. By taking the time to reflect and reset each day, you're not just maintaining discipline, you're mastering it. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Then use that answer to make tomorrow just a little better. Number 8. Surround yourself with disciplined people. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on who you become. Discipline isn't developed in isolation. It's cultivated through the influence of others. Whether we realize it or not, the habits, attitudes, and values of those around us shape our own. The old saying, You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, holds true, especially when it comes to discipline. If you want to strengthen your own discipline, you need to surround yourself with those who embody it. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who emphasized the importance of virtue, believed that we should be mindful of who we choose to associate with. He said, "If you wish to be a writer, associate with writers. If you wish to be a philosopher, associate with philosophers." The idea is simple. You become like those you spend time with. If your circle consists of people who lack self-retreat or who frequently give into distractions, their habits will seep into your own. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with disciplined, focused individuals, their behaviors, standards, and mindset will naturally influence you in positive ways. Think about your social environment. Are the people in your life helping you stay accountable to your goals? Are they pushing you to be your best self? Or are they pulling you away from the discipline you're trying to cultivate? If your friends or colleagues aren't aligned with your values, or if they encourage bad habits, it may be time to reassess your inner circle. Discipline is contagious, and if you want to strengthen yours, you need to be intentional about who you allow into your space. It's not just about cutting out negative influences. It's about actively seeking out people who inspire you to rise. This could mean finding a mentor who embodies the kind of discipline you admire, or joining communities where self-improvement is a priority. For example, if you're focused on fitness, find a workout group or online community that shares your commitment to health. If you're working on personal development, connect with individuals who prioritize growth, consistency, and mental toughness. When you immerse yourself in a community that values discipline, you not only gain inspiration, but also accountability. Being surrounded by others who are striving towards similar goals makes it harder to fall off track. Their commitment to their own journey reinforces your commitment to yours. And when you face challenges or doubts, these disciplined individuals can offer guidance, support, and the occasional push to keep going. Remember, discipline is a practice. It's easier to stay disciplined when you're in an environment that encourages it. So take a close look at your social circle. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you to be your best, or are you being influenced by habits that undermine your goals? If it's the latter, it's time to seek out those who embody the discipline you want to develop. Seek out those who challenge you, who encourage you, and who hold you accountable. Your environment plays a critical role in shaping your character and your discipline. Choose wisely. Number 9, practice gratitude and celebrate wins. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about finding joy in the process and celebrating the small victories along the way. Too often we get caught in the pursuit of the next big goal, fixated on what's still left to achieve. But true discipline isn't about reaching an endpoint. It's about embracing the journey, acknowledging your progress, and finding gratitude in every step forward. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius in Meditations often reflected on the importance of recognizing the abundance in life, even amidst hardship. He wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars and see yourself running with them." This simple act of focusing on the good, of acknowledging what you have rather than what you lack, shifts your perspective in profound ways. When you practice gratitude, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, strengthening your resolve to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges. Gratitude isn't just an emotional response, it's a powerful tool that supports your discipline. When you acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, you reinforce the behaviors that got you there. Every step you take toward your goal deserves recognition. Discipline thrives when you celebrate the effort, not just the result. If you focus only on what you haven't accomplished yet, you risk burnout. But when you celebrate what you have done, you build momentum, boost your motivation, and increase your capacity to stay disciplined. Start by celebrating small victories. Did you stick to your workout routine this week? Did you manage to work on your project even when distractions were tempting? That's progress, and it deserves to be acknowledged. The more you celebrate, the more you affirm the positive habits that keep you moving forward. By shifting your focus from what's lacking to what's been achieved, you build a foundation of positive reinforcement that keeps discipline alive and thriving. To make this practice a habit, consider ending your day with gratitude. Take a moment each evening to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as being thankful for a productive day, for a moment of clarity, or even for the lessons learned from a challenge. By closing each day with gratitude, you end on a positive note, shifting your focus away from what you didn't accomplish and towards what you did. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine isn't just a feel-good practice. It's an essential part of maintaining discipline. It nurtures your spirit, reinforces your commitment to your goals, and reminds you that every small step is part of the bigger picture. So, as you move forward on your journey, take time to appreciate how far you've come. No matter how small the progress seems, celebrate the wins, no matter how minor they feel, because they are the building blocks of your success. Gratitude is the fuel that keeps your discipline strong.